A sudden twist has reignited one of Australia's most haunting mysteries. The search for 4-year-old Gus Lamont, the boy who vanished without a trace from Oak Park Station, has resumed weeks after authorities called it off. What began as a desperate rescue mission has now transformed into something far more complex, filled with questions that no one seems willing to answer. Before we dive deeper into this unfolding investigation, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, so you never miss the latest updates on this story and others like it from across the world. After more than a week of silence, search teams are back at Oak Park Station, scouring the same rugged terrain where Gus disappeared on September 27th. But this time, the search radius has nearly doubled, from 2 kilometers around the homestead to almost 5 kilometers. Officials say the renewed effort reflects a reassessment of conditions and possible search gaps from the initial operation. This isn't just a symbolic gesture. Around 80 Army personnel have joined forces with state police, local volunteers, and specialized tracking units. Together, they are covering thousands of acres of semi-arid scrubland, rocky hills, and dry creek beds in one of South Australia's most unforgiving landscapes. The conditions are brutal: thick saltbush, featureless plains, and sand that can swallow tracks in minutes. The decision to restart the search came unexpectedly, sparking speculation that investigators might have received new information or that previous efforts may have been cut short too soon. Whatever the reason, the renewed push suggests authorities are not ready to close the book on this case. From the very beginning, the scale of the search has been immense. Helicopters crisscrossed the skies. Drones equipped with infrared cameras swept the landscape from above. Bloodhounds were brought in to pick up any possible scent. Ground teams, some walking for more than 10 hours a day, combed through gorges, fences, and isolated watering holes. The Australian Defence Force added manpower, heavy equipment, and logistic support, transforming Oak Park into one of the largest search zones in recent state history. Despite the intensity of the operation, progress has been slow and heartbreaking. The sheer size of the terrain makes it nearly impossible to cover every inch. And that leads to the painful reality. After weeks of effort, no conclusive trace of Gus has been found. No clothing, no personal items, just the smallest fragment of possible evidence. In all this time, investigators have recovered only 2 small clues: a fragment of a pink blanket and 2 tiny footprints near the homestead. The blanket piece was discovered snagged on a barbed wire fence, while the prints appeared to lead away from a family's living quarters but disappeared within meters. Forensic analysis has been ongoing, but officials have yet to confirm whether the blanket belonged to Gus or if the prints were even his. Complicating the case further are the family dynamics that have slowly come to light. Reports reveal that multiple adults were staying on the property at the time of Gus's disappearance: relatives, farm workers, and visitors, making it difficult to pinpoint a clear timeline of events. Even more puzzling, police did not release Gus's photo to the public until several hours after the initial report, raising questions about why the delay occurred and whether crucial early search time was lost. As the search dragged on, speculation began to swirl. Some believe the boy may have simply wandered off and succumbed to the harsh conditions. Others suspect neglect or a possible cover-up, pointing to inconsistencies in statements and a few unverified claims that certain items were found but never publicly acknowledged. Conflicting reports from within the search effort added fuel to the fire. Anonymous volunteers suggested that unconfirmed material evidence, possibly clothing fibers or soil samples, had been recovered early on but was kept under wraps by investigators. The authorities, however, have maintained a firm position. No confirmed evidence of Gus's whereabouts has been found. This contradiction between official statements and leaked claims has only deepened the mistrust surrounding the investigation. Adding to the unease, several experienced bush trackers who took part in the operation later admitted doubts about whether Gus was ever in the area that was so thoroughly searched. Some argued that the patterns of disturbance and scent trails didn't match what they'd expect if a young child had been moving through that terrain. It's a chilling thought that perhaps the entire search was focused in the wrong place from the very beginning. As the days passed with no results, the classification of the case quietly shifted. What began as a search and rescue mission has now become a missing persons investigation, and insiders say it's under major crime scrutiny. That change signals something significant. Investigators may now suspect foul play. For the public, patience is wearing thin. Families, volunteers, and local communities have begun demanding transparency, accusing authorities of withholding information and failing to keep the public informed. Social media has become a storm of frustration and conspiracy theories, with many saying the silence from officials is only feeding misinformation and distrust. Now, as the search at Oak Park stretches into its final phase, the question haunting everyone remains the same. What really happened to Gus Lamont? A case that started as a heartbreaking disappearance in the Outback has now turned into a national mystery, one that continues to expose fractures in both the investigation and the trust between the public and the people sworn to protect them. Until the truth surfaces, every day that passes is a painful reminder of a child lost and a community still searching for answers.